All right, everyone, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. I want to see everyone, so I'm just going to take myself off this gallery view. All right. Oh, hang on. All right. So I have both feet flat on the floor, about hips width apart, and feeling the sensations of the feet in the floor. Oh, I just realized Geshe-la's teaching this evening. That might be where many people are. Okay, and the backs of the legs on your chair, your sits bones in your chair, shoulders are aligned with the hips, and the ears are aligned with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. Then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension in your scalp, your forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the jaw, back of the tongue, the back of the head. And the ears, the inner ear, allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Maybe feel the sensation of the weight of your hands in your lap. And then just notice the breath sensations as you inhale and exhale. The nostrils, the chest area, the lungs, the ribs, and the belly. Notice any sound in your environment, just allowing those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. Then be aware of what's going on in your mind this evening and try and put some space in between your thoughts. Try and slow them down a little if you can. And then just try and be both curious and objective about what you're seeing. I'm guaranteed it will be different tomorrow. And then bring to mind all those people of your life, your loved ones, strangers, the ones you don't like so much. And remembering that these relationships are interchangeable and they're all equal. They all have this incredible capacity for enlightenment. They all want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. We're all the same in that way. So we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And, you know, this keep seeing more and more pictures of the Guadalupe River in Kerr County in Texas, and it's just like really quite frightening. And maybe just think of all those people right now who've going through some very difficult time. So think, there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think specifically of actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering that we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we rely upon. We turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this brilliant, radiant, blissful white light. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this a little section here on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and then in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. You know, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So this it kind of happens instantaneously, like like when you walk into a room, you flick on the switch and the light comes. So it's like that. So just as the light from Vajrasattva's hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, that's instantly dispelled. So are depression and attachment and anxiety and neediness and anger and resentment and jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech are completely purified, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar that fills you completely. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativities of the body, and then flows up, pushing out all the negativities of the speech. And then the light comes and blasts all of the delusions. So this is happening all at the same time. Body, speech, mind. And in this way, you eradicate even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita Jida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the fourth power, the power of resolve. And this is the final step and a really crucial one, because here we have to decide, I want to refrain from harming. So you kind of have to develop this kind of aspiration, this wish in the heart. And it just sort of guides your body, your speech, and your mind in kind of new directions, sort of like guardrails. So first of all, rejoice in your extraordinary efforts coming along here. And then also think of something you'd like to work on. Maybe you've been working on for a little while. Could be speech, could be your internal dialogue with yourself, could be some physical habit you have. And when you work on this, maybe for the next, because I won't be here until Monday the 21st. So maybe you can work over that time. It's up to you. But maybe pick a theme for yourself. So maybe your internal dialogue is not very positive. So maybe you can just work, maybe have a journal and work day by day. Maybe get your phone to remind you to spend maybe 3 minutes meditating on your internal dialogue and just see what you see what conversations you're having towards yourself, about yourself, to yourself, and see whether it's beneficial, or maybe you could think more positively towards yourself. So maybe think of that as an exercise. You don't have to do it, but it's just a suggestion. And then also maybe make a list of all your positive qualities, the things that you're good at, the things that people say, inspire them about you. So have that little list just to remind yourself. Put it on the fridge. I am this. I am this. I am beautiful. I am strong. I got this. Sort of like that. Then Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And then think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So let's just a little bit meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. With meaning of the truths in 12-fold form, aware of suchness in its 16 forms, with true awakening in 20 forms, awakened fully, knowing all, supreme, dispatching countless sets of some 10 million, embodiments of emanating Buddhas, the final realization of all moments, who knows each moment's object for all minds, and manifesting for the sake of all beings, with means derived from varied vehicles, gone forth by way of all three vehicles, remaining in the single vehicle's fruit. Okay. Everybody, lots of love, and let's pray for a long life, of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the swift discovery of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And then for your own individual teachers to live long. And then also I just read that Gendon Handrick is going to be leading the Vajrasattva tomorrow night. So I think that's quite special that he's agreed to do that. It's really cool. So I've known Gendon for many, many years. In fact, he was on the board of Liberation Prison Project with me, and tremendous supporter and very kind, very, very kind person. I was so grateful that he was there on the board for a little while with us. All right. Lots of love, everybody. Good night. Sleep well. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you when I get back. Okay. Bye, everybody.